stop for a moment here, and we're going to take a look at a PSA that the Lowell General Cancer Center has put together, and this may be something you'll see on other television stations as well. So we're going to take a quick moment to look at that, and when we come back, we're going to talk with Sheri Kennedy and learn about the innovative program that she's developed over at the Cancer Center.
Every step you take will make a difference when you join the 9th Annual Lowell General Hospital Teamwalk for Cancer Care, Sunday, May 18th. The unique thing about Teamwalk is that every dollar raised stays in the community, going directly to improve the quality of life for area cancer patients. Thousands walk each year, united by hope and inspired to make a difference. Join us at Lowell General Hospital's Teamwalk for Cancer Care and make a cancer patient's fight a little easier.
Okay, and we're back. Now we'd like to kind of switch gears a bit and talk to Sheri Kennedy, who I introduced at the beginning of the show. She is a cancer survivor, so she knows a lot of what Bruce has been talking about here. And since her time there at the Cancer Center, she's found a way to give back to other patients who are now struggling with the disease. So, Sheri, let's talk about what you've been doing over at the center.
Sure, and if you don't mind,
Okay.
I'll start with sort of how the idea came about.
All right. First of all, what is the program?
Sure. So the program itself is called Healing Through Art, and it's an experiential-based art class. So basically, it's an art program that's open to cancer patients, their caregivers, which means sometimes it's friends, family, the people who are actively involved in helping them get to the appointments and all this kind of thing. And also we've had some Lowell General staff take the class.
Oh, okay.
And it's really an opportunity for people who have no experience or lots of experience with paint to come see what the benefits are from painting, for healing, for relaxation, and basically it's a chance to get together and gab with, people who have a similar experience, and people who already understand, basically.
So when you were going through your experience, did you find that art was therapeutic for you? I mean, you already sort of had that in your background.
Yes, I consider myself lucky in that I had two grandmothers who did art, so they got me into it at a very early age and continuously put paintbrushes and pencils in my hands.
Lucky you.
But I'm also aware that most people stop making art at a very young age and get onto other things and rarely, if ever, come back to it. So for me, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I was very fortunate. It was caught at an early stage, and I only needed to go through radiation. I didn't have to go through the extensive chemo and other things that a lot of people experience. So I consider myself very fortunate. I also consider myself fortunate that Lowell General was so available and nearby, and I was able to, well, for better or worse, I was laid off at the time, so I had a lot of time on my hands. So I was actually able to take advantage of some of the Teamwalk dollars that were available to take the Tai Chi class and the mindfulness-based meditation class that helped me keep myself grounded. I had a lot of time in my own head, and that was helpful in some ways for me to devote towards my own healing, but it was also very disorienting and scary when the whole day was kind of open-ended with the exception of the one treatment in the morning.
Right.
So I found it very challenging to keep the attitude positive, keep moving forward with what am I doing with the rest of my life when everything was sort of a question mark. So the idea for the class actually came out of that, in my own kind of state of mind and need. I had some conversations with Meg Lemire, and I attended some of the support group classes, or support group sessions with both the breast cancer group and the living with cancer group. And after some of those, I talked to her about the idea of running an art class, because for me, going and talking with other people it was incredibly wonderful and warm and welcoming atmosphere, but there were some days I just couldn't talk about it. And I wanted to do something that was more physical, more creative, and it seemed like there were some other people who had similar creative outlooks, gardeners, cooks, people who knit. So I thought maybe there would be something to tap into there. as an addition to the services that Lowell General already offers.
I see. So now you do offer a program through the Cancer Center, and can you tell us about that?
It is wonderful.
Okay, so how do you get people involved in art and dealing with their challenge through art?
So the way that I run the class or start the class is that it doesn't matter whether you've come to any classes before or this is your first one or this is your 10th one. Every class is about the here and now. So when you arrive, any preconceived notions you have about what you're going to do in the class, I encourage people to let them go. And I also, I start off with some kind of exercise or reading or meditation that helps people remind themselves that the head, the body, the heart, the hands are all connected. And we spend some time just breathing and just reconnecting with right here, right now. So I try to bring that into the class. And the benefits of art, I think, are akin to meditation. So I try to take an approach that creates almost like a meditative space in the room, first of all. And then I give people some basic tools. We start with primary colors, plus white and one other color, usually a burnt umber. And I give people enough of an intro for how you can mix any other color that you need from those colors. And here are the brushes, and here are the palette knives, and here's how you mix them. And other than that, we start with some very simple instructions, and then I just let people go and explore. So it's really a discovery process.
So most of the time they're painting? That's
Yes.
what they're doing. And are they able, do they complete one project per class, or is it something that's an ongoing project they come back to week after week, let's say?
It tends to be more of an ongoing thing. Some painters are very fast and they'll do 1 or 2 paintings in a class.
Oh my, okay.
Some take a lot longer and we'll be working on the same painting for 3 classes. Sometimes a painting will get to a certain point, be set aside, and then come back again. It's almost like writing a story, and the painting evolves as it gets painted. So it depends on the painter and the day.
Are they paintings that if a spectator were to come up to it, would they recognize what it is? Are they going to see, say, a bowl of fruit, a still life, a landscape, or are they going to see something abstract?
They really run the
Usually.
gamut, and it sometimes, I guess, it depends on how we've started the class. If we start with a meditation that's really that has some visuals in it. For example, I've started one class where where we focus on our favorite place, whether it's a real place or an imagined place, the place that we can be without worry, without care, and really envisioning every little detail, the way it smells, the way it looks, the sounds, the colors. Is it warm? Is it cool? Really get involved in that one image, and then we open our eyes and start with one color across the whole canvas that kind of sums up that feeling, and then go from there. So even just from that same foundation, different painters will take it in different directions. Some will be fairly literal if they can really picture what that place is like and they want to capture that. Then it might be more representative, and it'll be, one woman actually recently painted her favorite place, which is in the mountains in New Hampshire. But there was a stream and a path up to the mountains, but there was something missing for her in the real place. She wanted a bench to sit on. So she put a bench in the painting.
Oh, nice. When you're the artist, you can do that,
Exactly.
or the creator. Yeah.
And that's really the beauty of it. Yeah.
Now, do people interact in this class, or is it pretty solitary, would you say?
Well, the class runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we take a break in the middle for lunch. So generally what I'm finding is that in the morning people tend to be pretty focused, particularly when we start with something like a meditation or some yoga moves that bring us inward. Tends to be pretty quiet, and people get pretty involved. Gradually, as time goes on and the ideas have taken form enough to the point where people are kind of looking at them, then there tends to be more conversation. And then in the afternoon, after lunch, during lunch, we sit and chat and talk about whatever is important at the time, and that can be a really healing time as well. And then in the afternoon, kind of depends on the day. Sometimes people get right back into that focus. They don't even want to break for very long for lunch. And other times it becomes all mayhem and fun and, and chatting.
Is there any criticism that goes on? Do you criticize, critique anybody's work, to put a little more green over here or anything like that? Or
I really try to avoid the classic art school kind of critique.